time to take a shower.
Cherise!
Who called my name?
Cherise!
Who's there?
Don't look in the shower, Cherise.
You can't tell me what to do.
Don't do it.
You know what?
Don't
You
do
know what?
it.
It's incredibly hot in here today, incredibly hot in here. Incredibly hot in here today, incredibly hot in here. The air is getting slippery and it's not to my surprise. My heart is beating regularly, the sweat it fills my eyes. I do not mind what I excrete cause I'm here to make a buck. And those
the knowledge that they gain, the favor of another brings the murder of self.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your
Trees! What's your problem? There's a dancing man in the shower.
What?
He's right there.
Cherise, let me tell you something. There's no one there.
He's obviously right there.
Are you on drugs?
Maybe.
So, as you can probably tell from that beautiful demonstration, there are two main types of hallucinations, auditory and visual. Auditory hallucinations generally involve hearing voices speaking to you, but they can also include hearing bangs, whistles, claps, screams, dick ticks, and music. La 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 la. Whether you hear comprehensible speech or just random jumble of voices also depends on the experience. Visual hallucinations are similarly varied. Sometimes the hallucination's vision is distorted. They see ripples, streaks of color, random shapes and patterns, or they may experience tunnel vision. Other times the hallucinator may see a person or an object that isn't there, or they see themselves in a scene or situation which doesn't really exist.
Ooh. Due to the fleeting random nature of hallucinations, it has been difficult for neurologists to study the brain activity involved with hallucinating. However, using recent neuroimaging technology, scientists have become more successful in studying this topic. In previously healthy patients who experience brain damage, hallucinations may sometimes occur. The pathway for the hallucination in the brain usually passes through the legiona or damaged area. For instance, a brain lesion in the pathway between the eye and the visual cortex often causes visual hallucinations. Increased activity in the occipital lobes also predicts a visual hallucination. In patients with schizophrenia experiencing auditory hallucinations, there is usually a reduced amount of gray matter in the brain's auditory cortex.
Ooh.
There also seems to be increased activity in the auditory cortex during hallucination. Broca's and Wernicke's areas, the language centers of the brain, also show increased activity. Furthermore, MRI imaging has shown enlarged fluid-filled brain areas in schizophrenic patients who experience hallucinations.
Has it? Has it really?
Yes, it has, actually. Some argue that auditory hallucinations originate when someone misattributes internal speech as coming from an external source. This lack of so-called self-monitoring arises from a lack of connection and communication between the brain regions that generate the speech, such as the frontal lobes, and regions that perceive the speech, such as the temporal lobes.
Temporal.
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 Temporal?
Temporal.
Temporal.
Lobes.
Temporal lobes.
It must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Paint by number morning sky. Looks so phony. Dawn is breaking everywhere. Light a candle, curse the glare. Draw the curtains, I don't care, 'cause it's alright. I will get by.
Schizophrenia is a severe mental disorder that can often result in hallucinations. Schizophrenics, my apologies, have distorted perception of reality, meaning they perceive the world differently from others. This psychotic state may include auditory and visual hallucinations, as well as delusions, false yet strongly held personal beliefs.
Sorry, my handwriting is horrible. For instance.
For instance, paranoid schizophrenics may hear threatening voices or see scary images, which causes them to be constantly frightened. Some schizophrenic hearing
You didn't hear that.
hearing voices is common for schizophrenics. Most of the time, these voices are disturbing. For instance, some experience commands hallucinations in which a voice tells them to harm themselves or others, like, Kayla, harm yourself.
Oh no!
She didn't listen. Some schizophrenics also exhibit disordered thinking, with their thoughts coming and going into too rapidly to string them together coherently. Some display inappropriate emotions, laughing loudly at bad news, ha 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 ha, or even showing no emotion at all. Dang. AKA flat.
Effect. It's called flat
Effect.
effect, showing no emotion.
That looked like fat face. In a state of catatonia. A schizophrenic will sit motionless for extended amounts of time. Although there are many different types of schizophrenia, and their symptoms will vary from patient to patient, a major part of most schizophrenia disorders is hallucinations.
When someone hears the word hallucination, they generally think of schizophrenia. Don't you, Charisse? Don't you think of schizophrenia when you hear the word hallucination?
Now I think of shrooms.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, Charisse, just get out of here. Anyways.
Okay, goodbye.
However, there are a great variety of other causes of hallucinations as well. Drugs, including marijuana, LSD, shrooms, cocaine, PCP,
It's obviously amphetamine.
amphetamines, and heroin are common causes, with hallucinogens such as LSD and shrooms obviously producing the strongest effects. Besides schizophrenia, there are also plenty of medical conditions that can produce hallucinations. These include dementia, epilepsy, brain lesions, thyroid problems, deafness, blindness, tuberculosis, Parkinson's disease, migraine, headaches, fevers, and narcolepsy. Sometimes hallucinations are even present in healthy individuals. After suffering through the loss, you just touched my foot.
I'm sorry.
After suffering through the loss of a loved one, many people report seeing them or hearing their voice. Some begin to hear voices after experiencing an emotionally traumatic or stressful event. Hypnosis and fatigue.
Is it like if your cat or eats your popsicle, then you'll experience hallucinations?
Yeah, that I would consider that a trauma.
So would I. Thank you for clarifying my question, Teacher Noble.
You're welcome. And hypnosis and fatigue are also common causes.
One's culture greatly determines how they interpret hallucinations. Some tribal cultures, hearing voices or seeing visions are signs of spiritual enlightenment or communication with another world. On a broader scale,
Broader scale.
what she said, many religions worldwide interpret auditory hallucinations as hearing either the voice of God or the temptation of demons. What is perceived as normal in one's culture or religion may not be so normal in another.
Anyways.
So, the big question of sane versus insane really just depends. Okay. Kayla, shut up. Okay. Generally, in westernized culture, which is us, hallucinations are a sign of insanity, just like how Kayla is secretly insane.
Oh, yes.
They are seen as harmful and detrimental to a person's well-being. Someone from another culture might disagree, saying instead that hallucinations are a sign of a healthy connection with the spiritual world.
Choosing to be here right now. Hold on, stay inside this
Men.